Manchester United defender Leny has been pictured passing a significant milestone in his bid to recover from the foot operation he underwent during the summer. The club's statement read, "Our No.15 has now progressed to the next phase in the process as the photographs document his first day back out on the grass at our Carrington base." Leny was also put through his paces in the gym on Thursday. Under the watchful eye of our medical staff, for Yoro, this was a huge step forward. After months of hard work and frustration, he was finally back on the pitch, even if it was just for light training. The sight of him running again, feeling the ball at his feet and moving freely brought a sense of relief, not just for Yoro, but for everyone at the club who had supported him through his recovery. "I've been waiting for this moment," Yoro admitted in an interview after his return to outdoor training. "It's been tough being away from the pitch, but I've learned a lot during this time. I've worked hard to get back, and now it's about taking it step by step." Despite his progress, Yoro knew that a full return to action was still some way off. Erik Ten Hag and the club's medical staff were determined not to rush him back into competitive football too soon. With United's defensive injury woes showing no signs of letting up, the temptation might have been to fast-track Yoro's return, but the club was taking no chances. His long-term fitness was the priority, and a return before the November international break was deemed unlikely. For Yoro, the waiting game continued, but now with each passing day, he felt closer to achieving his goal. The thought of pulling on the red shirt once again, of stepping out onto the pitch at Old Trafford and hearing the roar of the crowd kept him motivated. He knew that when the time came, he would be ready. In the meantime, Yoro remained a key part of the squad's training sessions, gradually building up his fitness and working on his sharpness. His teammates, many of whom had experienced long injury layoffs themselves, offered their support and encouragement. Harry Maguire, who had recently returned from his own injury setback, was a particularly vocal presence in the dressing room, reminding Yoro that patience was key. "You've got all the time in the world, mate," Maguire told him after a training session. "Don't rush it, you'll get your chance. And when you do, you'll smash it. The camaraderie within the squad was something Yoro appreciated. Despite his youth, he had been welcomed into the United family from the moment he arrived. The senior players, many of whom had been in his shoes before, understood the challenges he was facing and did their best to make him feel included, even when he wasn't able to train with the group. Off the pitch, Yoro's adaptation to life in Manchester had been relatively smooth. He had settled into a new home not far from the city centre, where he lived with his older brother, who had moved to England to support him. The two brothers were close, and their bond had been a source of strength for Yoro during his recovery. Away from football, they spent their time exploring the city, visiting local restaurants and catching up on their favourite TV shows. But even in his downtime, football was never far from Yoro's mind. He would often spend hours watching videos of his own performances, analysing what he could improve on and studying the best defenders in the world. Sergio Ramos, Raphael Varane and Virgil van Dijk were players he admired, not just for their ability, but for their leadership qualities. Yoro aspired to be more than just a great defender. He wanted to be a leader on the pitch, someone his teammates could rely on. As the weeks rolled on, the countdown to Yoro's return continued. Each day brought new progress, new milestones, and new reasons to be optimistic. The medical team was pleased with his recovery, and the feedback from the coaching staff was positive. Yoro's attitude, work ethic and commitment to his rehabilitation had impressed everyone at the club, from Erik Ten Hag to the physios who had worked with him every day, and by the end of October there were whispers that Yoro might make his return sooner than expected. The November international break was still the target, but if his progress continued at the current rate, there was a chance he could be back in action before then. United's medical team remained cautious, but the prospect of having Yoro available for selection again was exciting. For everyone involved. As for Yoro, he remained focused on the task at hand. His return to full training was imminent, but he wasn't getting ahead of himself. "I'm just taking it one day at a time," he said with a smile when asked about his recovery.